He doesn't really know, Max. I mean, at the end of the day, Gronk is looking at Brady. Gronk is looking at Leftwich. Gronk is looking at Todd Bowles, other players, free agency, all of those sort of things. You got to figure out where things are, especially right after the season. It's a deal right now where I'm going to relax. There's no time being wasted. I'm not missing anything. And in the end, if they even want me back, do they even want me back, though? Like, that's the question. Do they even want me back? Because we don't even know if the Bucs want him back yet.
This is like traditional yeast that Keith talks about that the media does. This is a setup question. First off, you have to hear the way the question was asked, though, Max. If you had to make a decision right now, then what? Like, it's like saying, hey, you just worked your tail off at work for the everyday person, and they have this planned vacation that they're going to Fiji. And the minute they land in Fiji, someone's like, are you excited to get back to work? Well, no, man. I just got here. I'm starting my damn vacation. Like, let me have a minute to breathe and see how the landscape changes. But I do agree with you guys on the fact that there are a lot of moving parts, and it does feel like Gronk's portion of his career with the Bucs is more in tune with what Brady decides than the other way around.
Absolutely. Brady brought him in.
Exactly.
So, it's a Brady decision. Everything hinges on what terrific Tom does.
Right. It does seem like that. I mean, don't forget, Gronk was retired, and then Brady goes to Tampa, and all of a sudden Gronk is unretired and playing in Tampa. It does seem like those two are connected at the hip, but how many in Tampa are tied to Tom Brady's decision? Because you got to imagine that affects the front office decisions. What are we doing? You can't just replace Tom Brady. What are we doing right now? Do we have a team set up to win now if we have a quarterback? Do we go look for another veteran quarterback? What do they do, Key?
Well, they got a contingency plan. We just don't know it, right? They smart. Put it this way: Jason Light is a smart general manager, and the Glazer family are smart owners. They got a contingency plan already in play. We just don't know it. Okay, whether it's we get money back, salary cap relief from Tom Brady's decision to retire, and we can use that towards something else. But you got the trickle-down effect of Leonard Fournette wants to be paid, I'm sure. Ronald Jones, I'm sure. We got Chris Godwin still in his situation coming off an ACL. We got high salary cap numbers in Mike Evans. So it's all those little pieces, but it all starts with the quarterback. Once the quarterback releases the handcuffs, the team now can move around a certain way to put enough back in play so that they can compete within the division. Now you say, what about quarterback? There's not guys that are out there. Bruce Arians feels like he could coach. He thinks he could coach any quarterback except Jameis Winston. So, think about
Who did lead the league in what was it, yards at least, and had over 30 touchdowns with Arians.
Max, it feels like the question that we should be asking ourselves is, if Tom Brady doesn't come back, are we talking about a complete rebuild for the Bucs? Are we talking about scrapping it, even though they have room in salary cap with, I think they have like 25 people, veterans, whose contracts will expire in March. A lot, even on the defensive side, you didn't start talking about Jason Pierre-Paul and Ndamukong Suh, Golston. There are a lot of individuals, right, whose contracts are up. Are we talking about a complete rebuild for this Bucs team?
Mike Tannenbaum will talk about his time with the Jets when he's looking at Tom Brady, and he really doesn't have a quarterback, and he's thinking, okay, we're going to build a team that runs and plays defense, right? Like, you got to go to something, especially nowadays. But you look at the NFC South without Brady or Sean Payton, who are you really worried about? I mean, the Atlanta Falcons did not look to replace Matt Ryan, so they added weapons. I guess they look like they're in pole position right now. Panthers aren't much to worry about. So that division is still wide open. Even without Tom Brady, it would seem like they don't have to rebuild with an eye toward the future. They could rebuild looking with a very different kind of team to win the division next year.
Yeah, I wouldn't discount the New Orleans Saints, though, with Dennis Allen. They got a quarterback issue that they've got to figure out, but they got some pieces in place, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They got Alvin Kamara. I don't know what the deal is with Michael Thomas, if he's coming back or they move on from him or whatever the case is. But they got pieces in play in New Orleans, and Dennis Allen is an experienced coach on the defensive side of the ball. The offensive side, we know what they have over there, so can't count them out. And Atlanta is a pretty good football team, but they still, I mean, they were 7-10. They were in it to the end, but I don't know that they're all of a sudden going to supersede New Orleans or Tampa Bay, even though Tampa Bay won't have Tom Brady.
Max, you know why I'm laughing? Because Key be so slick with it. He'd be like, yeah, I don't really know what the future is with Michael Thomas.
I heard the same thing, Jay. I was like,
I'm like, if anybody knows what the hell the future should be with Michael Thomas, it should be
Jay.
you.
I don't see the thing with me, Jay and Max, what y'all got to understand is that I know a lot of people in professional sports in the management side as well as on the team side. And I don't ever ask them their personal information about what their decisions is, or what they want to do. Even though he's my nephew and I just was with him for like a week when I was at home, I didn't ask him anything whatsoever about his future plans or what. In fact, I talked to him. In fact, when did Sean step down? 2 days ago? I spoke to him 2 days ago, and I didn't ask him.
Was he good?
Yeah, he was fine.
Great.
I asked him to come on the show, and he said the media right now, and this was 2 days ago. He said right now the media is very weird. I'm not dealing with
Did you
those
tell him
people.
that you're not media though?
Well, he doesn't look at me as media.
Oh, but me,
He looked
Max
at
and I.
this
Yeah.
ESPN.
Oh, the
as
ESPN
media.
though, yeah.
So even though you are a basketball guy and done things and blah blah blah, and Max is boxing and football, he doesn't care because this.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like if Max says something crazy, we get the blame, even though he won't get the blame. It'll be
you'll get plenty of blame
Keyshawn,
on this show.
that show.
That's so.
Blame.
Like the Justin Herbert take.
Yes,
Yes.
like the Justin Herbert
You're
take.
welcome for that. Make sure you guys look good.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.